Hello and welcome to another episode of WSU TV's State of the Art, the show that shines a light on the College of Fine Arts here at Wichita State University. This is our first episode of the 2018-19 school year. The campus is abuzz with students again and everyone's ready to get back into the swing of things. For this special Back to School episode, we'll take a look at what some fine arts students and faculty were up to over the summer break. First, we'll check in with 3 WSU theater students who spent their summers sharpening their technical theater skills with Music Theatre Wichita. Producing 5 Broadway-scale musicals in a little over 2 months, Music Theatre Wichita employs a number of college theater students each summer. So let's take a look at what role each student played and what they learned.
Hi, I'm Wayne Bryan, the Producing Artistic Director for Music Theatre Wichita. Every summer we produce 5 Broadway-scale productions, each of which is given for 7 or 8 performances. In this case, our last show will run an extra weekend because it's a very popular title. Well, when Music Theatre was founded back in 1972, the idea was that this would be a great way not only to use the concert hall here at Century 2 and entertain our local populace, but also, maybe like the Wichita Symphony does, to employ a lot of students who are interested in this field and would like the advantage of working with Broadway people and taking their skills to the next level.
Good. Lock. And then add, what is it, 86? 86. So the edge.
So it's always been a very important part of Music Theatre Wichita that students be educated and trained and polished along with the Broadway guests that we bring in. So that's always really exciting. And since the very beginning, Wichita State University has been a key player in this. We've had technicians, actors, all kinds of artistic teams. So we're very, very appreciative of the fact that we have in our city a university that turns out students who can do this kind of professional work.
I'm Sydney Jordan and I am the audio assistant, or A2, here at Music Theatre Wichita. As audio assistant, I basically do whatever the designer and assistant designer ask me to do, running the board or taking notes or anything kind of like that. And I also work with the actors and the body mics that we run during the shows. I make sure that all of the mics are on the actors, that you can't see them when they're wearing backless dresses or low-cut backs. And if anything goes wrong, I make sure that the microphone gets fixed in a timely manner. This morning was photo call, and for photo call is when we record little snippets of the show for the media, for Facebook, for little trailers that we're gonna make, for little sneak peeks. And what I do is I hold the boom mic to make sure that we're picking up the actors and it's not just silent video or very poor quality sound. I am the one who picks up the actors, and I have to make sure there's no shadow on their face for the video. I have to make sure that I'm getting everything that they're saying. If they turn away, can I still hear them clearly? That's just my job, is to make sure the actor is heard and that we can put it with the video. I would suggest this program because it is a learning experience. It is a learning job, as I said. You go in maybe not knowing very much about lighting or sound, and you can come out knowing so much more. Having this experience under your feet kind of gets your foot in the door for the real world, but also helps you learn without having all the pressures of the actual outside theater world.
My name is Erin Mittman, and I am the stage management intern at MTWichita. So the stage management intern is present in the rehearsal process, and on stage I run the prop table during shows, make sure all the actors have their props when they need them and that they come off and they get cleaned like they need to each night. I work primarily with the rest of the stage managers team. There's 5 of us, 2 that kind of call the shots and run the shows, then there's 2 assistant stage managers, and then there's me. I think just being in the rehearsal room is the most fun, because whenever choreographers and directors and actors and all the stage managers are kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, there's sometimes some real funny stuff that happens. Just like earlier, we were needing tomatoes in a scene, and so Amanda, one of the stage managers, runs into her office and grabs a bunch of red ring pops and is like, "Here are some tomatoes." And so that was just something unexpected that really made me smile and kind of lifted my spirits in that day. MTWichita has given me a lot of experience in the professional aspect of theater, because I've done theater since freshman year of high school, and now I'm going to be a sophomore in college. So doing theater in a school setting is much different, and it's safe to say a lot more laid back than this professional theater where we're producing 5 shows in 6 weeks, and so it's a lot more fast-paced. I think it's just a really good experience to get involved with MTWichita, whether it's just for a show or for the whole summer, or even if you just come see a show, you'll understand all of the artistry that goes into a single show, even though it's only on stage for about 5 days, or I think 7 performances. Each detail is just so meticulously thought out that if I weren't behind the scenes working on it day in, day out, I wouldn't even know that it was there. Like a windmill that turns. That's just something that an audience sees and they think, yeah, that's what windmills do. But behind the scenes, you see there's an electrician operating the motor on that to make sure that it works and that it doesn't make some weird noise or hit something. But there's a lot of thought that goes into theater, and I think it's something that's really valued and necessary.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Hercules, and I'm a stitcher here. I really enjoy making the costumes and just seeing it come to life, and then also the wardrobe side of it, which I'm not doing this summer, but I also enjoy getting to help and figure out that efficiency. As a stitcher, we tend to pick up our projects from the cutter drapers who have cut everything out, kind of worked with the pattern, and we are now putting the material together.
Like that. So this is the bottom, so stitch this time. Great.
But whenever we're not building something, we just go up to the alterations rack and we find things that's either making it smaller or fixing things, labeling. It's kind of what's needed.
Beneath the clear wide blue here.
The stuff right here is all Little Mermaids, so it's rebuilding the tails, the bras for the mermaids, redoing all the seagull hats. It's kind of just jumping around. A lot of it is just new techniques in doing everything and kind of getting to learn the actual function of a professional costume shop, because at WSU we are our own cutter draper and stitcher, and here it's really cool to learn having different designers come in and then they're talking to the cutter drapers and the cutter drapers are then explaining it to us. And so I guess that's been the biggest learning process for me, was just the functioning of this costume shop. Working anywhere at MTW is very helpful because you're getting in the professional world. There's a lot of Broadway connections. There's connections throughout the country, really. And it's truly set up like a professional environment, which doesn't happen a lot with summer stocks. They tend to be very messy, but here things are very organized, and it's a very good opportunity, and I think anyone should take it if they can.
Here in the world
I think people who live in Kansas or who've always lived in Wichita begin to assume that every city has a theater that does this, that creates big shows in-house like this. And the truth is now, in this era, most cities of any size do see big shows, but they're brought in from other places. The trucks come in, they unload the show, they perform it, and they move on. There are very, very few places in the country that actually do things to a Broadway scale and actively solicit the input of people who live locally in that community to help make it happen. So if anybody's interested in this, I really urge you to take a look at it and come down and observe what's going on. Send us an inquiry if you want to get a backstage tour, or if you want to learn more about working in any of these areas or in all of these areas. That's really a great opportunity that we have uniquely here in Wichita. And I would urge anybody to do it. It's a very positive, affirming environment to work in. And we're very proud of the people that we've turned out, especially those who came from WSU.
For students interested in working with Music Theater Wichita next summer, or for those just interested in seeing a show, you can find everything you need at MTWichita.org. Up next, we'll take a look at the Kodaly Music Workshop, a program that brings students and clinicians from across the U.S. to Wichita State every summer. The Kodaly method, or Kodaly philosophy, is an approach to music education developed by Hungarian composer Zoltán Kodály in the mid-20th century. After completing the 3-level workshop, participants become nationally certified to practice the Kodaly method of teaching in schools across the country. Let's take a look.
So every June, we have a program here called the Kodaly Training Program. This program runs for 2 weeks. We bring in clinicians and we bring in students from a lot of different places, sometimes other states. And it's a 2-week intensive, so they spend 75 hours in these 2 weeks working through and learning a new way of teaching music education.
Do, re, mi. Now what is mi called?
And it's actually kind of a methodology to help think about teaching music through a sequence and using some of the same techniques that we would use for children who learn language and then how to read. So it's actually a 3-level program. So most of the people that come here will actually come for 3 summers and put in about 225 hours of classwork and then also implement it in the schools. And then when they're finished, they have a national certification. We are one of the second largest program in the country. Right now, this summer, we have people from California, we have people from the Midwest, Nebraska, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, lots of different states, probably about 20 different states represented each year.
I teach at several different universities the Kodaly methodology, and WSU is definitely my most favorite. And I think one of the main reasons is that the student body becomes a family. Everybody go, wow! Wow! Isn't that?
It's a great environment to learn in. All of the teachers and staff are very supportive. Plus, you work so close with your level that you're in that it just becomes almost like a family. I will not be coming back next year because level 3 is the end, but I will be coming back the year after to get my master's in music ed from WSU. I mean, that's how much of an impact the people and the staff here have made on me that I want to come back and get my master's.
We also sponsor a treble choir camp, which is a camp for unchanged voices, which would be young women and also children who enjoy singing, and they work with a clinician, an artistic director, and do a choir during the day, and then they have camp activities in the evening, and that's a 1-week program. Those students are actually learning some of the same techniques. They're learning to sight read by solfege. They're learning different languages. They do not get the music ahead of time. When they come, Elaine Quillicini, who is the director of the Calgary Girls Choir in Canada, works with them. And what she does is she starts with them on Monday morning, and they do their concert on Friday afternoon. And then the following Friday, the second week of it, is when we have the adult choir and also now have an alumni choir. All of this is to apply all the things they're learning. So yeah, we have 2 concerts every summer, and it's always fun to see what the directors bring in the way of music for us to learn. This program is totally self-funded, so this program runs off of the funds that the students bring in each summer. And as a result of that, we basically hope that we always have enough students to bring our clinicians in and work through everything. And over the years, we've consistently been a strong program, so that speaks well for Wichita State.
For more information about the Kodaly Workshop or how to enroll, contact Elaine Bernstorff or Steve Orr with the College of Music. That will do it for this episode of State of the Art. For more episodes or to check out lots of other great WSU video content, make sure to subscribe to WSU TV's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.